Detained by Israeli forces while on a humanitarian mission to Gaza have returned to the country. The group traveled via Jordan and were part of the Global Sumud Flotilla intercepted by Israeli forces last week. The group spent 5 days in custody. Channel Africa's reporter Micheal Mbewe comes to us live from the OR Tambo International Airport. Micheal, good afternoon and thank you for joining us on Africa Update.
Good afternoon, Lulu, and good afternoon to our listeners across the continent of Africa, but also elsewhere in the world, Lulu.
You know, from the visuals that we saw on our screens, there seemed to have been a number of people that had come out to support, the 6 activists, South African activists who returned home.
Quite correct, Lulu. This morning we witnessed, the arrival of Dr. Fatima Hendricks, Mandla Mandela, Riaz Mula, Kerry Shelva, Dr. Zahira Suma, and Zuki Vanna. These are the members or activists coming from South Africa who were the group, part of the group of the Flotilla global, movement, which was going to the Gaza to deliver some aid. With what is happening on the ground, with Israel committing genocide. But just as you said, Lulu, when they walked out of, the aisles of the OR Tambo International Airport and then appearing in front of the people, they were greeted by a handful, people there coming from all corners of life in South Africa. You had Indian people, you have white people, you had also black people who really showed solidarity to these members who looked in good spirit. They are happy to be welcomed home by those who love them, but also those who are in solidarity with the people of Palestine. Lulu,
what do they have to say about their mission?
Well, Lulu, the ordeals they expressed are very shocking. To see how they were treated. They say that they were tied to cable ties from behind. Some women within the group were stripped naked. I'm sorry to our listeners who are very sensitive. More especially the women were stripped naked by female, immigration officers of Israel, just to find out what they have, and being accused of supporting, Hamas, who is a movement that is killing, kids. Israel kids and also women. But what was also more shocking is that there were other people who were in that prison who expressed, how they were treated in terms of being denied the opportunity to take a bath. But also some being denied food to eat, some to even communicate with their lawyers, and then also embassies, per se, to communicate with their families. So it's been a very tough ordeal, but they are very, very happy. They look very healthy, but the emotions were high. Some of them also were greeted by their family. I spoke to a young man who is the son of Vukiswa Vanna, Jama. The son's name is Jama, was very, very happy and said that they couldn't wait because they were holding, their hearts in their arms because of what is happening in Israel, hoping for them to come alive, and yet they have arrived, in the country alive.
Now, with everything that they experienced and went through, what is their next plan of action? Because generally you find that with activists, they always find a way, heading back to, those situations. So was there any mention of another round of traveling to send aid across? What's the plan of action?
Absolutely, Lulu. They say they will mobilize. However, there was this rumor or accusation or allegation that the government of South Africa is also part of those funders who are funding this, flotilla group movement. But Mandla Mandela there, equivocally denying that no, South African government, it's not part of this. South African government has just only facilitated, they are the return home on a diplomatic level. Saying that they were not, wrong to be in the waters because those were the waters of international,
international
agreements.
waters.
Yes, absolutely. So, but like you said there, Lulu, they are vowing, to go back. And they said that their mission is not over. They have already communicated with, because it's a huge a global movement, Lulu. One shouldn't underestimate. They said the ships and the vessels that are in the sea, in the waters, multiple vessels in hundreds that are pushing, to bring it to Gaza. What also he mentioned is that they are accusing governments, Western governments, of making quick and then to deliver arms when they are needed, but not aid. So what is it that is stopping, the Western countries to push Israel, really, after also seeing, promising discussions between, Israel, Hamas, that are taking in Egypt, with the involvement of the United States of America, with Donald Trump, Lulu, promising that they are very, very close to getting a deal, and then seeing that Israel is still continuing bombarding, Gaza, which is something that people are looking at it with in a very negative way. Lulu.
Now, Micheal, just very quickly just in wrapping up, going back to the story of how the women in the group were treated and how they were searched and stripped naked by men. Is there something they're going to do about this? Is this now going to be part of a case that maybe they're building against Israel?
Of course, and these are words coming from Dr. Fatima Hendricks, who really was very, compassionate about what happened to them, saying that actually at The Hague, there's a case where Israel has to answer. So they will also advocate for some of the reports, to incorporate in those, you have these other submissions in addition to anything that has happened, as part of evidence to, compel Israel to answer to whatever atrocities, but also mistreatment to journalists, activists, and then all other officials that are on the side of Palestine, those that are not happy, on the side of Israel, Lulu. So it's a big case. I was also engaging with the South African International Relations and Cooperation spokesperson, Crispin Piri, who said now is the time that they will push. We remember at the beginning of the UNGA, where the General Assembly was sitting, also discussing about the issue of Gaza. So we are seeing now at least goalposts, moving. We hope for the best, Lulu.
And also, I know I said just in wrapping up, but I have another one for you. With regards to the individuals that they came across who spoke of issues of not being able to speak to their lawyers and, their consulates and so on. What are they saying about that? Is that also going to be looked at?
Well, from the South African perspective, I think we could also commend the government for moving very swiftly, because one could have thought maybe this ordeal could have taken for long, for these people to be detained for such a long time. But I mean, in 5 days' time, looks like a miracle. I mean, to looking at the enemy that you are dealing with. So we should also really, commend the South African government for pushing on a diplomatic level to ensure that these people are safe here. But from other jurisdictions, of course, it's up to those jurisdictions to take side, to see on how they will pursue their own side, joining maybe South Africa with the case. We've seen, I think, a number of countries, including Brazil, promising to say that no, we will also join, South Africa, presenting our also arguments at the Hague with the JC, the case that absolutely,
yes.
Lulu.
Well, Mike, we have run out of time, and we are going to leave it here for today. Thank you for joining us on Africa Update.
Much appreciated, Lulu. Thank you so much, my sister.
That's our reporter, Micheal Mbewe, who is at the OR Tambo International Airport in South Africa, joining us on the line.
Our CISA,